We had a really fun guild event night on Tuesday. That was our mandatory fun night, and it included playing with some of the more interesting decorations that are in strongholds and guild ships. So we'll cover that and more on this episode of the Escape Podcast for Star Wars: The Old Republic. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 338. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey, Max. Going really well. Yes, that was a fun night. That was a really fun night. I have to say about Conquest, I have a new attitude about Conquest that's I find kind of creeping in, and it goes something like this. Oh, I should do all this easy stuff for Conquest and get some Conquest points in today before something. And then I go, I've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of time. So it's already starting. I'll be like on Monday night going, oh, wait, I wanted to do like 8 characters this week. But I did find that it wasn't that hard. Well, I mean, we all found this, right? It isn't that hard to make Conquest in about 15 minutes if you have like one last character you want to do. With some of the sort of super easy ones, like place a deco 5 times or harvest 10 nodes. Although that one is infinitely repeatable and it's only like 1,600 points with 150% stronghold bonus. But it's just an example. Also, once a day you can sell the coins and all that stuff. Have your companion sell your great items. That is. But yeah, so I spent some time leveling my Scoundrel. I got a little behind on her because I decided last week I had to make an operative because I was going to level the operative during imp weeks and level the Scoundrel during pub weeks, and then they would keep kind of even. But once I started that, I realized it doesn't really matter because we're going large now on both. So it's almost like the focus doesn't matter. So I might as well just continue with my Scoundrel. I didn't have the same amazing results that you did when I left Ord Mantell. I mean, Ord Mantell. See, now that's the bad side of doing both sides. Yeah, Ord Mantell. My Scoundrel was 24, not 30.
I had rested plus the XP armor plus an XP boost. So I think the rested might have, or no, I don't know what it was.
I did skip 1 or 2 of the heroics too because I was like bumping up against that 10 heroic missions Conquest thing. I didn't want to do it on her because she'd already made Conquest.
Yeah.
See, Conquest rules all.
Yes.
All your decisions informed by Conquest. But I'm also finding, and then I did this thing where I immediately equipped one of the disguises that you get for Corso, and for the next like 15 minutes or so, I kept thinking somebody was following me. Like, who is this guy coming up?
Creep.
What does he want the node? I think I backed off of the node a couple of times, thinking someone was also running up.
Why does he keep telling me I'm dumb, ugly, and dead? I don't understand. He's really mean too.
He actually, that was one of my points about Corso I was going to make, is that people complain about him that he's too like goody, but he's actually extremely violent.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants to kill everyone all the time. That's his idea of fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first sort of decision you help him make after he becomes your companion. I'm spoiler, but he wants to murder the guy that you're working for.
Right, because you gotta
if you're light side, you talk him down off the edge.
The one I was thinking of, he wants to murder a separatist because separatists killed his family, and so he's going to kill all the separatists. And I'm like, that wasn't the guy you're working for. That was
like
just
cold blood. He's just going to shoot the guy right in front of you. Yeah. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't that the big guy you were working for.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm going to shoot this guy in the face right now. And he's like turns his gun sideways, kind of gangsta. He's like,
and you have to talk him out of it. And he's like,
pop a cap.
Yeah, well. I mean, he is kind of the sort of country bumpkin sort of character, but with this murder edge.
But just but just a little murdery.
Yeah, he's just a little murdery. Um, so I've been doing this character with no level 50 companion, just with whatever companion comes to me, and I have no mods in my armor because oh no, I did put mods in my armor, but they're very low end mods. Because I'm using the XP armor, and it's actually fine. Of course, I mean, we knew it would be fine, but I mean, I'm
Yeah.
so used to having Shea Vizsla basically kill everything for me. I thought, I might have to learn my class or something.
At least on the low planets, it's perfectly fine. I bet
Yeah.
it'll be fine. I've been doing gathering on my commando, and I noticed it was naked, not wearing any armor, and even on Onderon or Osis, Onderon.
Some or maybe it was Oricon, who knows?
You do have to kill a couple mobs to get like one of the nodes in town, and it's a little slow, but they don't really hurt me, and it's not really a problem. Even just wearing no gear whatsoever. So I'm sure you could just you don't need anything and any of the low levels. So I agree. So yes,
Yeah.
sorry I interrupted. Anything else you've been doing this week?
Well, I'm kinda looking forward to the next companion because, I mean, I don't have any achievements to do with Corso, so that's
Hmm.
one of the things I wanna do
Oh,
is do all the companion achievements as I move along, so I'm looking forward to the next one, but I know I have Corso for a while yet, and I don't have my ship yet
I
either.
don't have mine yet either. Yeah,
I'm about halfway through Coruscant.
yeah. So on my, you said you got a little behind on your uh, scoundrel. I have a big behind on my scoundrel because I like big butts.
Oh
I was holding on to that for the last 5 minutes.
well done, well done. I know it's not easy for you.
No, I left my scoundrel at 30. I was gonna level it up on Tuesday. I will put a bunch of levels on it. Basically, my plan, because conquest rules everything, as you said, is I'm gonna level up my scoundrel over the weekend until it hits conquest, until it hits 50K, and then
Mhm.
I'll stop and I'll see how many levels that was and see where I got and keep going that way.
Yeah, you gotta be careful though, you better not click on anything,
I know, gotta be careful.
right?
Uh,
You might you know, you might get hit by conquest without knowing.
Right. Like I accidentally, although I haven't hit conquest on my merc tonight, I accidentally placed 5 decos because I was moving some things around for the show, and then I got 8,000 conquest points. I'm like, oh, did I want it on this character? I don't know. I logged in with a character this morning, and I had a bunch of crew missions queued up, and 5 crew missions completed, and bang, 5,000 conquest points. What is it? So you gotta really be careful. But as you said, there's so many other ways. Super easy, barely an
Yeah,
inconvenience. You could just go to what I would do is if I really wanted to, if I wasted a bunch of conquest points, I'd just go to CZ 198, and in 15 minutes, that's 50K right there.
right. That's right. And
And that's
and
the one I'd
in
like to
fact,
do.
I have a list of my go-to, planetary heroic missions anyway.
Yeah,
So if
that's a good
I
call too.
yeah, because when I'm playing during my coffee and contemplation, I don't wanna go to CC 198 because there's, like, other people there. I'm just
Yeah, true. The
hard to be contemplative when you're waiting for the heroic 2 to become free.
right, right, right. When you're sitting there trying to shoot that big droid. I almost said big ass droid, but I already made an ass joke. So yeah,
Don't stop
so
now.
so don't don't stop me now. So also I've been doing not a lot, a fair amount of making credits. I got the bug to make some credits. I spent 20 million just tonight. I dropped 20 million to get this Wookiee terminal, which we'll show off here in a little bit. But I probably made 120 million credits in the last week, or maybe around 100 million, if I discount some of the
See,
materials I
this
was
is
buying
why
too.
this is why spreadsheets are overrated.
Why worrying so much about exact profit margins and that kind of thing? If I just see that my net worth has gone up enough, then I know I'm doing the right things. Is that sort of what you're getting
Yeah, or if you
at?
say to yourself, I think I made 100 million or 120 million, a spreadsheet might tell you that you only made 65 million, and then you wouldn't feel as good anymore. And it would still be virtual credits that don't matter in real life.
No, I could tell you exactly how many credits I made. Uh, but what the spreadsheet tells me, this is something I'm very careful about, which a lot of people just roll with it, is profit margins on the things that I'm crafting or buying or selling. And if the
Yeah,
profit
I know.
margin's not there, then I don't do it. Like I have a bunch of augments sitting in my inventory right now. Somebody decided to undercut the market and is selling some augments really cheap, and I'm like, nope. I'm just gonna hold. I'll hold them for a week. I'll hold them for 2 weeks. I don't care if the profit margin's not there. I'm not just gonna dump the inventory under profit because I'm not because I'm not going to waste my time clicking 50 million times to get the materials to make the next one if I just sold one under profit margin. I'll just not do it. Like I've got enough credits. I'll just wait till there's high profit margin and then clean up.
You say that you know exactly, but you said 100, 120 million, or maybe it's 100.
I don't keep it all on one character. If I put it all in my legacy storage, I could tell you the exact amount, but I've spread a bunch of the credits around. I would just need to take a
And the
minute to
spreadsheet that
collect it
I'm
all back up.
talking about is a spreadsheet of your credits, right?
Of
I
each
understand
credits
that
on each
the
character,
spread
yeah.
yeah,
I
the
could.
spreadsheet that is a tool for figuring out what your costs are.
That's a simple
That's
sum. I mean, I wouldn't even need like I think I have 3 pivot tables in my SWTOR spreadsheets. That like a sum of each character's credit amounts and a sum down the column. That's so uninteresting. I wouldn't even do that. I'll just do that in my head.
but
Uh,
yeah, and it keeps you happy. So yeah, a spreadsheet to do that would be overrated, which was my original point.
there you
I
go.
win.
You always win. And with
Oh, I don't know about
that,
that.
we will get into the news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
In the news, first up, there is, as there continues to be, a really strong focus on bugs. So the bug tracking is continuing to go on. Our community team is continuing to post these kinds of posts that says, "Hey, we're aware of XYZ bug. It's, we're following up on it. We expect it to be fixed in XYZ timeframe, blah blah blah." Just if you're interested, go check it out. The only one that really caught my eye is not only were the Odessan banners bright, but they were potentially adjusted some, and they're still too bright. I I I don't know what I mean. Here's a picture of it. So there's something going on here that they're really bright, and it's ruining people's screenshots. So that's interesting. Okay,
Yeah, they are very bright.
I never noticed, and but somebody has, and they're continuing to track it, and this is important to them.
Right, and it's I love that about our community, that there's people that care about all different things.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty interesting. What else we got?
Um, Also, we
Oh,
have, in case anyone listening didn't already know this, but we're in the middle of a double XP event, which is gonna run until June 16th. Um, we're also in the middle of an unlock sale, which you may or may not have known. And what that is anything that you have in your collection, you can unlock it right now for 50% off. So
yeah,
that is a great sale, and that is what people wait for. It usually happens a couple, 3 times a year. Um, s- so do that now.
yeah.
That means your pets and your armor sets and
Like I'm showing you
mounts
right
and
here, this Coriolis Viceroy I have on another character, but not on this character. If I click this button right here, you'll see it'll say, "Oh, you can unlock." Why is it not working? I just clicked it. The heck? The heck do you mean? How about this one? Red sidecar. There we go. Why did it not work on that? Anyway, 50% off unlock for the legacy. Then it's open to all of your characters on your account. Good opportunity to do that. Yeah, you're right.
then the last thing I wanna mention is they took, all the soundtracks from all of, the SWTOR everything, and they put it together in a YouTube playlist. So if you want to have the SWTOR music as a background to your life, you can do that now, which I think is really cool. And a lot of people are very excited about it. So I love that.
I like that they did it too. I know I keep wanting to track down or ask somebody at BioWare about the music and the production and the direction and of the music. They were really excited in the Cantina event before Onslaught to talk a
Hmm.
little bit on the side about the music. I mean, they almost at the same level of um, Will Smith baby creature race.
Right.
They're not ortolans, nautilins.
Not, yeah.
Almost at the same level of, hey, we're introducing nautilins to the game. Hey, we also want you to listen to this cool new music we made for the character screens in Onslaught. I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. I know, like with World of Warcraft, I've met and hung out with a couple times with Russell Brower, and that was really amazing. He's a really cool guy, and and an epic personality in the art of Blizzard in just sound production and music. And it's a huge part of everything that Blizzard does. And I guess it's a huge part of probably most of these kinds of games, and we should pay more attention to it.
Hmm.
A little name
I
drop there. Did
agree.
you hear about me and hanging out with Russell Brower? To get a little
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. He's a genius,
He is a genius.
I think.
Also, there was an update in the dev tracker. You can read another detailed post from Mike Bradley talking about PvP and the action that they're taking. He also said, "Hey, I haven't done this as often as we did it sort of in the first season because I was just getting warmed up, and it's sort of like the same thing every time. But here's another maybe more quarterly. So give him feedback if you want it more often." But I think that his cadence of like something like once a quarter is probably great. Had a couple interesting things in here. I don't usually pay too much attention to this, but he had a couple interesting things in here about what kinds of things that are actionable are changing and how it's changing, and what changes they made last round at the start of this season to change behavior and how that's turning out. And they said, he said one of the key things was people would sort of gamify the getting to the top 96 rewards really quickly, and some cheating would go on to make that happen. So they introduced new requirements to make it work, and they said some of that's working, but maybe not 100% how we want. And they said, so while cheating has changed and the attempts to cheat ratings have changed, there's still some of that going on, but there's a new kind of trolling and griefing that they're seeing that's on the rise, and they're going to combat that next. So, interesting stuff. That's good to keep up with if you're into that, and more service behind the scenes for the PvP community. So there you go. In guild and community news, we had a fun mandatory fun night on Tuesday. We'll show you some of the things that we did. If you missed that, it was kind of a detour from our normal mandatory fun nights because we're unlocking the final rooms on both of our guild ships. So our Republic ship and our Imperial ship. We've been working on that ironically for a number of years. And I think we calculated 4 or 5 years now that we've been working on that very casually. Basically, as people turn in their conquest, you could get a framework, and we say if you want to, you could donate your frameworks or your what are they called that make up the frameworks? The component.
Encryptions.
The encryption, yeah, 50 encryptions make up a framework. So you could donate your encryption to the guild, and we'll use them over time, and we'll unlock more rooms. It takes 2,700 encryptions total to unlock a guild ship, and we have 2 guild ships. We have one for each side. Now we're all done. So that was kind of fun. So we had a little party around that. We unlocked the final rooms, and we did this really hilarious thing with a deco, and maybe I'll talk about it more when we get to the actual decos. But I took a screenshot and I posted it on Twitter and I posted it on Reddit, and the post on Reddit got more upvotes than every single podcast for the last 6 years put together. 306, 338 podcasts put together. I got it was 2,000 upvotes. Everybody liked that picture so much, and it was epic, and it was relatively spontaneous. We'll show you it in a little bit. What else we got in sort of the guild and community news, Seema? Some other fun stuff coming up.
So on Friday nights, Mei Lung, who's one of our officers, is going to be starting some Friday Master Mode Flashpoint runs to work toward the Aerotech Ice Mount achievement. So he's going to be starting that next Friday, which is the 15th.
Yes, I thought that was great. I don't even know if I have that or not, so I might get in on that as well. I think I do have that on my two main characters. But those
I don't have it on this smirk right here, so I might.
You don't. Well, maybe I
depending on the
double check.
Yeah. The main thing about Master Mode Flashpoints is that it requires. Well, I mean, I think it requires tank healer and 2 DPS.
Typically,
But
I'm sure
there's groups and people that solo them or groups that do them with 4 DPS. But I don't even know why I started to say that because yeah. In general, though, I think a normal group with normal people in it with a tank and a healer and 2 DPS can be successful in Master Mode Flashpoints, even though they're called Master Mode.
And this is the mount. I do have it on this character. This is the Aerotech Ice. And you get this by the meta achievement of doing a bunch of the Master Mode Flashpoints.
Yeah.
That is kind of cool. It's a nice one of the Aerotechs. Very sleek and in a cool color. Nice little effects coming off the engines. I like that. Yeah, that's a good one. Also in guild news, Spicoli is a guildie of ours. Mr. Hand told Spicoli that he should bring pizza to the classroom. So Spicoli said, instead, I will start an ops team. Mr. Hand, I'm just trying to start an ops team. That was a terrible Spicoli impression. Just a little bit of pizza, Mr. Hand. Anyway, they currently need only 2 healers and a tank or DPS, and they'll have another team. This is going to be our 6th ops team for the guild. And
Crazy.
I think they're still working out exactly where and when they're going to run. They were deciding between Imperial or Republic, and they were deciding between Monday and Thursday night. So if you want one of those final slots on Spicoli's new team, talk to Spicoli or talk to Marcus, our officer, working class nerds, Marcus, and they'll get those final slots filled out and a new ops team starting up, which will be pretty cool. And then finally, May 22nd is our next monthly Epic Guild activity. That's Mega for you acronym watchers out there. Our Mega for May is May 22nd, and it's going to be a cool event around data crowns. So if you don't have all the data crowns on your characters, this will be an opportunity to get some of the more difficult ones. Every once in a while, we do things like summon everybody to the super ultra mega hard one on Makeb and things like that. So I think that might be part of this.
It should be.
Shout out to the chat room. Thank you very much for helping us out tonight and keeping an eye on things for us and making us sound smart when we glance over to the chat room and see all the answers and the corrections to the things that I'm saying wrong. I appreciate the assistance. And with that, we are going to now talk about decorations, because I heard with strongholds, you got to keep them decorated.
You got to keep them separated.
He said keep it decorated, right? I think that's
what he did. I heard him.
That's what I heard. So yeah, you got to keep it decorated. The reason we decided to do this was one of the key things which worked out really well on the Tuesday night on our guild ship was we were playing with these relatively new stronghold decorations or guild ship decorations called, what are they called? The disguise terminals.
Yeah.
So the way the disguise terminals work is there's a couple of them. I think there's 5 different types. We'll show you a website, two great websites for looking them up. 6: Imperial Trooper, Republic Trooper, Bith Band, Hut, Cantina Dance, the Hut disguise, Cantina Dancers disguise, and Wookiee. So those 6, and when you click on these terminals, it will change you. It will disguise you. You know, say, I'm going to make a selection, and then it'll turn you into, there I am. I'm a Wookiee. We turned our whole guild on Tuesday into huts. And when you look down here, when you turn into that, you know, when you use the disguise, you also get a new action bar, and your action bar is a bunch of custom emotes to that particular disguise. So here's a whole bunch of like Wookiee roaring, a Wookiee yell. Do I have my sound turned off? Oh, there we go. It's a little. I have my volume down, but they make all the sounds and stuff to disagree. Frustrated. They're all kind of the same. Chatty.
They're all kind of frustrated or disappointed.
I like
Poor Wookiee.
Oh, there's shy, chatty, wave arms. Remove disguise. Remove disguise.
Oop, don't click on that one.
Swipe. So we all dressed up as huts. When you're a hut, you also move, like Wookiees move at normal speed, but when you're a hut, you move really slow. And then what we decided we were going to do is on our guild ship, then we were going to have a hut race. And we recorded that. So we opened up the rooms, the crew deck rooms on the guild ship. Let me find my image too while we're talking. We opened up the crew deck rooms on the guild ship, and then we were going to have the race down at the bridge. So from the elevator to the command console on the bridge, because you couldn't go too far because these huts were really slow anyway. So we all had to get in the elevator with the hut costumes on, and everybody piled in the elevator. Everybody turned their hut around, and I said, oh my gosh, this looks hilarious. Hold up for a second. Let me take a screenshot. And I took my costume off, and this is the screenshot we ended up with. It was relatively spontaneous. It was pretty quick. We just took a couple screenshots. I captioned it, and I touched it up, captioned it, put it on Reddit, put it on Twitter. My most retweeted post in the last year, my most upvoted post ever by an order of magnitude practically on Reddit. Everyone really liked it. So there you go. Yeah, no, we'll wait for the next elevator. Thanks. It's a huge elevator, and it just looks so perfect. It's like we staged it, and everybody just like piled in and turned around. Nobody was even. We didn't like, you know, do a whole bunch of you know, engineering of the picture. It was just a quick shot, so it was great.
And what I loved about the Reddit comments is there were so many of them about what the smell must be like.
what the smell must be like. And if you've ever watched Robot Chicken, there's a couple Star Wars spoof vignettes that they did on Robot Chicken, and the Emperor is a hilarious character on Robot Chicken. This opens up, and it's a bunch of, I don't know what the species was, but they look sort of like Zoidberg. They're like fish people.
Lobstermen.
Like lobstermen. It was an elevator full of lobstermen. That the elevator opens up, and the Emperor Palpatine is standing outside there, and he's like, no. I'll get the next one. And they're like, no. There's room.
There's room.
And he's like, yeah, I just don't want my robes to smell like fish oil for the rest of the day. Like, that's kind of hurt. It's kind of hurtful, man. Well, you should have just let it go. And that leads into one of the most hilarious Robot Chicken scenes ever, when then the Emperor has to take the escalator, and coming down the escalator, like once every 20 feet, is a stormtrooper, and they each salute the Emperor on the way down. So he starts out like, they salute, and he's like, stormtrooper, and he starts getting tired. He's like, stormtrooper. But and then like 30 seconds later, he just starts flipping him off. He's like, screw you. And then one of the stormtroopers is like, aw. I don't know if you've ever seen the Robot Chicken. They do it like little action figures. It's stop motion with action figures. So it's the most low quality thing, but it's just so hilarious. Anyway.
I did not get the reference to escalator. And when I was reading it, I thought, what's the deal with escalator? So I tried to Google it and I didn't find it, but now I know. I have a feeling I should watch Robot Chicken.
Go on YouTube and just look up Palpatine Robot Chicken. And
Okay.
you'll get his, because there's other couple really funny ones where he talks to Darth Vader on the phone. Makes him cry. Anyway, playing with these decos, that's the topic of the podcast tonight. Apparently, or maybe it's
Amazingly.
not. There's a bunch of decos that do things, and I think those are the coolest decos, and I think they should have more in the game.
Yeah.
The one that I meant to place here, and I'll place it over here while we're talking, while you talk about maybe the slot machines. We should also talk about that, and the hut ball. But the other one that I wanted to make sure, because we bought it, was the Bith band. I don't know what that does.
Yeah,
Let's look
where
at
is
that
it? Where'd you put it?
Disguise terminal Bith band.
You become a Bith and you can play instruments and
Is it-
stuff.
Yeah, let's rotate it around a little bit. Hide hooks. Take off my Wookiee disguise. Remove disguise. 5 second.
Well, that takes forever.
5-second cast. Jeez. Flying disguise. Bith. Oh, is that you? Oh, and me. Oh. Oh, and then there's your instruments. You got the singing. You got the clue horn.
Oh, I'm playing imaginary drums, but I get a real seat, but no
Wow,
drums.
You do. Are they like hollow drums?
I'm a headbanger now.
Wow, yeah. Wow, he's like rocking out there. So they give you the custom emotes to do the different instruments. Yeah, so you could have a whole band going on.
Yeah, you could.
These disguises only work inside the stronghold, and they disappear as soon as you leave the stronghold. So keep that in mind. Unfortunately, that you can't like go to the fleet as a hut and slither around.
Yeah, because we wanted
unfortunately.
to.
Yeah, we certainly did. But this is cool. Is that what it is? Oh, that's the drum is the 7. Ooh, I can even hear it. Wow. I'm awesome.
See, you could have the SWTOR music YouTube playlist going in the background and you could drum along to it.
Before we're done tonight, remind me to go to my my Umbara train, because then I have some complimentary decos that would work well with this, which is the dance floor from
Oh, yeah. That's
From-
on your train. Okay.
from the nightlife, and the
Yeah.
microphone that we can play with too. So disguise terminals, those are cool. Cool fun toys. This back here on the patio, I've got a bunch of other fun toys though as well. This is another favorite toy of mine. The custom hut ball stand. I believe you can get this from oh, you're gonna have trouble throwing the hut
I
ball
know.
as a bit.
It doesn't work. It's
You're
not going to
blow
work.
up. So if you look now on Seema's bar, she's got a debuff that says the hut ball is like in a green state, and it counts down. It goes green, yellow, red, and then it's sort of like hot potato. When it turns red, you've got like 10 seconds, and then it explodes. And if it explodes, it doesn't damage you, but it blasts you. It blasts. Ooh. Boom. It blasts you into the air. I was ready for you, Seema. Nice try.
I couldn't do it by keybind, but it's still on the menu under general. But by the way, when I have this disguise on and I open up general, it has the guitar, the clue horn. Yeah, in general.
Oh, that's
In
cool.
the general tab. Yeah. Along with revive and revive companion and scan. But you can't do scan. You can't do those. Those are disabled. But I'm amazed that I could throw the custom hut ball.
So here, you get an extra action button. You get a custom ability called Throw the Custom Hut Ball. You can put it on your bar if you want, or you can just use it out of the menu. And you target someone else. You press the button, and it throws the hut ball to them. Whoever's holding it, when it gets to the end of its countdown, they do that little explodey thing. like that. You see how Seema blasted into the air. So my favorite
Yeah.
thing, in fact, let's pick it up here, Seema, and we'll play it. We'll play it the real way. Now you need to follow me. So I'm in my Yavin stronghold for the people that can't see. There's these 2 towers in the back of the Yavin stronghold. You can climb up to the top of those towers. You go to the inside and there's a grapple point which will bring you up to the roof of the tower. Then you place the custom hut ball stand on the roof of the tower, and you run around. And the rule is you have to keep moving. You can't just stop. We'll climb up here. We'll place the custom hut ball stand up here, and then you have a not small chance of falling off the tower and actually dying. Why is it not showing custom hut? Maybe I need to change my layout type. Large blocks, large medium mix. How about that? Large medium mix, apply layout. Remember, not every deco can go in every slot, so you might have trouble placing some decos if you don't have the right size slot available. Mostly it happens when you're clicking on a square that's too small, and then you try to look for the deco and it doesn't show up. That's because you're on too small of a spot. There we go. Place the custom hut ball. Wide hooks. Now we are here. We'll click here. Yeah. And now now we are running around, playing Ring Around the Rosie here on top of the tower. Oh. Simba's trying to time it. Oh! You lived, though. You didn't die. Look, you went all the way down there. You almost died. So for the people that couldn't see, Seema did go winging off the tower. And nearly,
I landed on a ledge. I feel like
landed on a ledge with like 10% health left, and nearly died. But that is the way you play it. That was spectacular. Okay. I am actually going to jump off because that'll take me back to the start of my stronghold where there's some other decos, especially useful decos that I think most people know about, but there's a very great complete set that we can talk about next. So if you die anywhere in your stronghold, you go back to your whatever your anchor point is. Now remember, some of the new strongholds, you can change where your anchor point is. Be careful if you do that because it might not be where you want it. I use Yavin as my utility stronghold because I've got all the utilities that I like placed right in a cluster that make them really useful to me. So these are the utilities that I use most often. Not all of them, but each of the 3 kind of cargo holds. So I've got a guild cargo hold, I've got a personal cargo hold, and legacy storage. And then within arm's reach, I can stand in one place and I can get to any of those 3 cargo holds. Wait, guild one was just a little bit too far away. I can go to any of those 3 cargo holds, get stuff in and out. There's a mailbox right next to it as well. There's a vendor. There's a bunch of deco people, personnel that also act as vendors that you can place. Feluzia Stato, the 3 deco droids, the three Jawa that each sell the different kinds of you can turn in Jawa junk to, the green quality, the blue quality, and the purple quality junk turn-ins. You can get them for your stronghold, so you don't have to go to the cartel bazaar to turn that stuff in. And I have the Galactic Trade Network, the GTN. So from here, I could say, oh, here's my legacy storage. Oh, here I've got an alacrity augment. I can pick up the augment. I can go right to look at what the current price is for the alacrity augments on the GTN. $64.97. That's not a bad price. Zen was saying earlier that he doesn't think that the augments are going to go up in price. I would have thought that, Zen, but they're maintaining their price. Strategic resource matrices are crashing in cost, in price, but legendary embers are rising in price, and the overall price for augments themselves are staying relatively stable, at least over the course of the past 2 weeks. So there you go. 64.97, 6 million for an alacrity augment. That's pretty high up there. And then the other kinds of utilities that I keep here as well, I don't use them as often right now, but especially if you're creating any of the conquest material, the war supplies, you sometimes need lower level materials. These decoration nodes, that's something that's useful to have in your stronghold and to use often in your stronghold. You can click on them. Like here, I've got these were because I was trying to get archaeology mats. They only go up to grade 8, not, we're up to grade 11 of materials, but I think they only go through grade 1 through 8, or 2 through 8, 1 through 8. I think 1 through 8. But if you need to say I'm running out of grade 5 archaeology materials, I could have this node right here. You can say I can click on it. It's a 15-second cast, and you gather from that node. You gather a fair amount, like you're gathering off of a node, and then you have about a 50-50 chance of getting a debuff that won't let you gather it again. 50, 60, something like that. So there, I got the debuff. I can't get it again, but I got 5 carbonic crystals and 4 primordial artifact fragments. These are the grade 7 artifact archaeology materials. I take them all. Oh, I guess I have to roll for them with Seema.
Yeah.
And I will greed. You can take
No,
them.
I passed on them.
Oh, thank you. 4-hour cooldown before you can click on it again. But now you could switch to your next character out of the 20 alts that we all have, and all 20 could, once every 4 hours, gather off of this node. I know some people that use these to quite great effect to be able to get all those materials for war supplies. In fact, some of the top conquest guilds do all of their materials farming for war supplies off of these kinds of nodes.
And even if all you do is just casually, when you think about it, as you log into character, do it a few times or however many times you can, it adds up way faster than I thought it would.
Yes, way, way faster. I know people, Medulla. I know Medulla has stacks of like 9999, 4 nines. 10,000 of all of the lower grade materials, and almost all of them are done this way.
It only goes up to grade
8,
7,
I believe.
8.
7 or 8. So you can't get the, the 9, 10, 11. But here, come with me to my my Tatooine stronghold, and I will show you. I'll summon you when I get there, Seema. But I'll show you the extent to which those nodes are available. If you do Conquest and you get your Conquest objective and you click on that little thing that says, that you get the 3 gathering nodes out of it, every time you complete Conquest on a character, you're getting 3 more. I have 10 of every single one of these. So I've done things like this. Oops, I didn't summon you. I lied. Although now my UI is screwed up and I don't have a bar. Hold on, we gotta reload. There we go. Let's invite Seema. Invite to group. And I will show you.
I'm coming now.
This isn't 100% of them, but this is most of them. This is my little gathering room. So if you look around here on the outside, I've got like all the scavenging ones over here, all the archaeology crystals over here, the archaeology fragments, artifact fragments over there. I've got all of the bioanalysis ones there, and all the slicing ones over here. So yes, slicing. You could gather credit lockboxes off of the slicing nodes. Just grab that rank 7 or rank 8. Let's see what the highest one I can't tell what the rank is. There's a couple of references that you can look up. You can Google for gathering nodes. But there you go. There's all of them. So if you want to grab one of the slicing terminals, instead of just gathering some of those low level mats, you want to just, every time you log in a character in your stronghold, you click on it and get a credit box and get a couple thousand credits every time. That's not bad. Go ahead and do that.
Free money.
So utilities, these are utilities. And then my other room over here has the couple remaining utility consoles that are useful. So in here, this was my original room where I had all of the storage. Here I have an item modification station. If you haven't unlocked the character perk that allows you to modify your items on the fly, you might need to go to a modification station. You can place a modification station in your stronghold and use it. And then on the other side, I have the appearance modification station. You can have one of those right in your stronghold, and you can modify your appearance. My appearance is perfect, so I don't need to modify it, but there you go. And here's more of those droids. So these are the 3 droids that you get when you unlock any stronghold. They are vendors. So just having a vendor, two things. One, they're just vendors, so it's useful if you need to sell junk or something, or you need to clear out your inventory. The second thing is they are also each vendors that sell decos. They each sell a different class of decos, and these decos you can use, you can craft prefabs as the currency, but there's a lot of really cool decos off of here as well. So this is a great place to get just a bunch of random, not the utility ones, but just random cool decos. All
So
right.
in my stronghold, where I log in, I always use my Nar Shaddaa one.
Mhm.
I have my 3 cargo holds and the AH and my mailbox and 1 vendor, so I can sell trash. Of course, now I have my companion do it for obvious reasons, but also in that same spot, I have 4 of whatever gathering node I'm sort of quote unquote focusing on, which I've had the same one for like 6 months now. So that I don't go to a special place and then decide which one to click on. I just mindlessly click on the one that's right there.
Yes. Yeah. And so Seema says she's got 4. There is a bug with these gathering nodes that if I click on it, say I clicked on this, I gathered it, then I logged in my next character, it might be disabled and my next character might not be able to click on it. That's just a bug with the deco, because if your character doesn't have the debuff, you should be able to click on it. So often people will put like just duplicates, like 4 or 5 duplicates of it. So then you could just click on the next one. They time out and they reset themselves at some point. The other way to reset them, if you need to, if you just have one placed, is you could pick it up and put it back down, and then it would be reset, and your next character could be able to use it. All right, let's do some more. Yeah, Galahard just said it's in the chat room as well.
And the 5th character to do that will get conquest points.
So there, Galahard was saying tier 8 versus tier 7, I believe. So here's a great deco site, and I believe this is where my gathering node list is. TORD.mmo-fashion.com. If you just Google for TOR decorating or SWTOR decorating, this is one of the top 2 that comes up. In here, I believe we could search for, might be easier just to Google it. Yeah, we might have to, oh, no, here they are. One of these 2 sites has the complete list of all the grades of gathering nodes. So if you need to look up what the name of a particular grade of gathering node is, node deco SWTOR. Crafting node decorations from SWTORstrongholds.com, which is the other awesome site. So SWTORstrongholds.com, but this doesn't have one listed by grade. There's another chart out there that shows them, so you could go by grade and say I need grade 5 archaeology stuff, and it'll tell you then what it is. So look it up. I'm not going to look it up now, but it is there. And Galahard says yes, it does go up to grade 8. So there you go. SWTORstrongholds.com, very nice site, and Tor Decorating, very nice site for looking up decos. Let's do a little bit more touring and show some other kinds of fun decos. Well, let's stop here while we're here. So this is my balcony garden on Tatooine. I am a big fan. One of my favorite things is all of the plants that are also decorations. A lot of them are potted. Some are not. I can show you some of the other ones that are not as well. But I did this as like a potted balcony garden. And you can see there's like these mushrooms. There's even taller trees. There's some very big trees that I've got back in the Yavin one. There's these topiary things. There's these glowing ones from the Rakghoul event. And then interspersed throughout here in the garden, I've got a fountain in the back. And then I've got just a bunch of the little pets. And if you look, they're animated. So they're kind of alive. So here's the Thranta.
Yeah.
The Thranta is just hanging out and hovering there in the air. Here's a little, is this a loba? Oh, this is a Gizka. And I've got the little lilac. Any pets that you've that you have unlocked, you can place as a decoration. So that's all this is. These are just pets that I've had on my pets tab. So you hit P, you bring up your pets tab. Anything on here that's a pet that you have unlocked, you can place as a decoration. So I did a little bit of wildlife here in my garden. I got like a couple little flutter plumes. There's an ebon wing flutter plume in the shadows back there. Here's like the parrot looking, the one that looks like Pearl from Ravagers, from the Koratani's bird. The flutter plumes hanging out over here. And then of course I've got some droids, some astromechs, in case I need to grab one and put a recording into it and kick it off the balcony or something. So that's a fun little thing. And here's one little trick. See how I made these little fancy little light decorations? That's actually 2 posters, and I rotated one upside down and I overlapped them.
Oh, interesting.
It's a little trick. They're slid together, they're overlapped, and it created like a little illuminated like lighting effect. That's actually just done off of those posters you can collect.
Creative.
Okay, let's go back to Yavin because there's some more things I want to show there. So I'll invite you back there when we get there. And feel free to butt in here, Seema, on any of the classes of decorations that you can think of that you like and use.
You know I will. And by use, no.
I
did.
I tend to talk a lot.
I don't know why you say that.
Well, I guess that's sort of our job here, but I feel bad when I don't let you talk at all for like a whole. I go to the editing of the episode afterwards, and I go, wow, that was like 98% me just yapping and yapping, and like once or twice I hear Seema going, Matt, and then there's me. Blah, 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 blah. These are my decorations. Show to my decorations. I have all the best ideas. Yeah, anyway.
But
yes.
You do have all the best ideas.
Here's a couple favorite decorations of mine. These 2 guys are two of my top decos. So this is Garge, the ancient Rakata alchemical beast. So that's basically a model of Garge. And this is the Dreadforged Rancor, which is the 3rd boss in Dread Fortress.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like alive, and there's a bunch of these kinds of boss models that you can get as decorations. They usually drop in the veteran mode and master modes of those flashpoints. And they're alive. So if you look at him, if you look at Garge here, he's not only just like here as a statue, because you can also get the statue versions of these kinds of things, but he's he's like breathing
He's
and he's
breathing
alive
and
and he's
looking around.
glowing and he's looking right at you.
He's very well trained though, because he doesn't attack, and he also isn't drinking all the milk and leaving the carton, putting the carton back in the fridge.
He is a horrible beast. His claws scored the canals of Salot, and he left the toilet seat up in the middle of the night when it was really cold out. He's done very terrible things. So those I really like. And then another class of decoration, which there's quite a few options, are the personnel decorations, and especially the personnel decorations that are animated. So here I'll show you a few examples of that. Wait, why am I in on dismount? So here's the couple guards I have. I guess I need to click on it. Revanite Vindicators, and they just sort of pace back and forth a little bit. Here's the Knight of Zakul that's pacing back and forth. I just like how they bring a little bit of life to your stronghold. And then here's the little Jalo, who's this guy who sweeps from the HK55 chapter.
Yep.
And the Shroud. He worked for the Shroud. So there's
I want a
Jalo.
broom like his.
And then if you
Although it doesn't seem to work very well because he's been sweeping the same spot for a while.
It's an electro broom too, yeah. And then if you come in here, there's one that even paces back and forth a little bit longer path. So this is the Keldor Jedi Master, and he paces back and forth. I should rotate him around because he's sort of like facing the wrong way. Don't forget, when you place decos, you can rotate them. So there, now he's facing me when he paces. You can rotate them and you can slide them around to position them. If you wanted like two of these that are pacing back and forth to be like really close to each other, you could do that. So this is cool. And then if you also look in here, this is an example. This sort of tree thing. This a very tall potted set of foliage that you can get. And all of these vines on the walls and hanging from the ceiling are all decos as well. And these you can buy cheap from I believe from the Fluzia Stato vendor, which they're relatively cheap. That's a vendor that you also get when you unlock your strongholds. So a bunch of decos are really, really cheap, and they're really cool to just sort of like fill in and create ambiance. All right, let's do I'll do a little bit more tour. Yavin is my most decorated stronghold. So here's a little garage down here of some different mounts. If you look at as we go through here, you're going to notice I do have posters on all of the walls. Most of my Yavin stronghold is still decorated in the old school, which was
mine are all that way too.
You could decorate the stronghold all you as much as you wanted, but to get to 100%, you basically had to fill the walls with posters as well. So this is, I think I back down to 97%. I've taken stuff out so that I could move things around and do whatever I want, have some blank spaces, because that's not how unlocks work anymore. But that's why there's posters all over the walls. So here's some mounts. Just like any pet you have in your inventory, any mount you have in your that you have collected, you can place as a decoration as well. The mounts will show up just like the pets will wherever you place them, and they'll hang out there. The third class of item that sort of works that way is companions. However, if you log in on a character who doesn't have that companion themselves, the companion will appear as a hologram. So that like they're holocalling in. So I don't tend to place companions.
They should change that now that that's not as set in stone as it used to be.
They should. And I wonder now if you like unlocked that
T7, for instance.
Yeah, T7 on a non-Jedi.
Yeah.
If you could place him and he'll show up not as a hologram.
Interesting question.
This side is my animal mounts because it's got the waterfall here in Yavin, so they can have a drink if they need it. And then this guy is my mount handler, the Kubaz citizen. I don't know why I stationed him in here as my mount handler. But here's a bunch of my animal mounts. Not all of them, but a handful of them. And then we can go upstairs because I got a couple cool rooms with some interesting decorations upstairs that I like. I like decorations that are animated. I like decorations that you can click on and do things. We'll get back up to the party patio. So I don't know if you saw when we started the show, but there's like the fires and the torches.
Yeah.
Oh, who is this? Togruta citizen, female. She's just hanging out.
It'd be nice
here.
if you could name these characters too.
Yeah.
So like if a visitor moused over her, it would say
Janet.
Well, yeah.
Janet, the
Janet.
Togruta female. Hey, I got an
I realized
over
as soon as I started that sentence that I know now why they can't do that.
Oh, I guess so. Good point you got there. Why? What were you going to name your Togruta female? Togruta Togruta face?
Right.
That's what it was going to be. Look, here's my Isaac statue. I think there's 3 different Isaac's decorations that you can place. So I don't know which one this was. This is the large commemorative statue of Isaac's. Then there's a small commemorative statue of Isaac's. And then I thought maybe there's not like a big animated Isaac's. But I like the statues. I like the live versions of the bosses a little bit better. Here's more of my mounts. Here's more plants along the edges here. One of the other things that you can unlock, there's a bunch of decorations for Yavin that are just like extra foliage, extra plants, extra rubble. So if you look here, like there's in the middle of the path here, I've got in it just when I hide hooks, it looks like it's just part of the environment. This little pile of rocks with a plant growing out of it. It's not. It's actually a deco. So they provided a bunch of those for Yavin, and a little bit of extra plants that could be growing in an area, a little bit of like crumbled ruins type rocks that you can just scatter around. You can add a little bit of character and dress up your stronghold that way too. Okay, so then these 2 buildings here, these 2 towers in the back of my Yavin stronghold, the one on the left, I have a bunch of interesting decos in, and I created a sort of like a med bay here in this tower. So I've got the personnel, I've got the Republic medics, I've got a medic droid, I've got these medic canister things, I've got Kolto tanks in the back here, I've got some beds scattered around the sides and a little bit of privacy screen, like little hospital beds. I've got this display, these wall displays. Those are cool. Don't forget the ceiling and the wall items. So lots of like if you look up, this is one of my favorite decorations for the ceilings. This is the Zerka ceiling light. It's really bright, and that makes a difference. So here, if I pick it up and put it away, you'll see most of well, there's not so much in here with the hooks on, but it does darken the room. And depending on what lights you place, you can really brighten up different areas and be able to see the room better and change the feeling of your stronghold. There's all of the lights and lamps and sconces that go on the walls. There's ones that are on fire. There's ones that are just bright lights. That Zerka one is really interesting. Chat room is asking where the Kolto tanks came from. The Kolto tanks are Flashpoint Mandalorian Raiders. So this is one of the points I wanted to get to here and in the other tower across the way. Decos come from all over the place. Decos come from the cartel market, but I would say that's at most like 30% or 40% of the decos that are available. Maybe more these days because they keep adding more to the cartel market, but tons of decos come from flashpoints. They just drop in flashpoints. They drop in uprisings. They drop in operations. They're rewarded. They're rewarded to you when you complete achievements. You may not have noticed, but all of the posters that are all over these walls, those are all from achievements. The bounty hunter animated sign that sticks out from the wall, you get a unlimited number of those, basically 999 of those, if you level a bounty hunter to level levels 50, I think, maybe even just level 50. So here's a bunch of them up here. These things, all of these, you get tons and tons of these. So this is the circular sign for consular. You get that from achievements. So if you look in your achievements tab, you can get tons and tons of decos out of your achievements tab that you may already have that you don't realize.
Yeah. Yes. It's worth checking because, yeah.
Back in the day when we needed to get our strongholds to 100%, it was hard to do, and you definitely used all of those things that you got out of achievements. What else do I got in here? So this is my bounty hunter control center. This is where bounties get communicated to me in this communications command center. I've got this is sort of a Seema, where are you? Come in here. I need to just
all right, I'm coming.
To stand over here. Yeah, just
oh, stand right here.
Just come stand right
Nothing
here.
Nothing bad could happen.
Seema's locked
captured
in the cell. And your character is locked there in the cell, but you can just reach out and click the control and
like
and
this.
turn it off. We were saying in the pre-show, I wish you couldn't reach it. I think that would be really cool if you actually just got locked in there and you had to like quick travel out or something.
This reminds me, I saw a movie this week that was totally not what I expected, because it was called Bounty Hunter, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'll check it out. But it was starring Jennifer Aniston.
Oh.
Yeah. It was I don't want to be judgmental. Yeah. Nothing to do with, I mean, her husband was technically a bounty hunter, but didn't wear a helmet, yeah. Didn't have a blaster.
Carbonite.
Yeah, it's just totally false advertising.
Here's a couple other cool ones I like from the Life Day event. There's the snowblower that sits on the floor and blows snow and icicles. Life Day's got some really good ones. If you look up above here, this is a light effect which drops snowflakes in the air. It's too high up in the air for the snowflakes to reach all the way down here, but if you have it at a normal height in your stronghold, it rains down snowflakes, which is kind of cool. And then
there's an NPC that throws snowballs too.
Yes, that's in my Umbara one. We'll go. Oh wait, we're done with the podcast.
Yeah. When we were at the Cantina Narshada, where the nightlife event is still going on, obviously, we were looking at the vendor there. He was selling something that was like a trap that you put in the floor that flames come out of. And he had something else on the wall. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so many interesting decos now.
So look at this. Do you see this lightsaber burn mark on the wall? That's a deco. You can get these burn marks. You can see how here's this blaster damage that's sparking over here. That's a deco. A lot of really sort of like cool things like that. Broken down pieces of stuff that are, it's like a smoking ruin. Look at this droid repairing the wall over here. I think this one comes from one of the coffee flashpoints. Yeah, Star Fortress. This is a Star Fortress deco. A bunch of these are Star Fortress decos. This Sky Trooper chassis. This droid that's repairing the wall. You just run the Star Fortress and this stuff drops. This isn't like you have to run it 1,000 times or something. It just drops. All right, so let's get to my Umbara train and we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Quick trip to the train.
Quick trip to the train. One of one of the coolest strongholds ideas. I think that I think they were really creative when they created this, to have a stronghold that is a moving train that doesn't stop. So you gotta go, Seema. You gotta run down the middle. Oh, I gotta summon you here.
Yep.
Follow me. Invite group. Did you get invited? There you go. Your invite was accepted. In the middle of my Umbara train, so you see all the chairs. This is how all my strongholds used to look. Look at all these chairs. Look at all the chairs, and look at all those bounty hunter signs just hanging from the walls. That's so I could get to 100%. House of Chairs, I used to call it. Welcome to my house of chairs. Look, another train car full of chairs. And here, more chairs. Imagine that. But in the middle of my Umbara train car is a party car. I think it's right through here. And in my party car, I have a few different cool decos that we'll wrap up with. Here we go. I've got one of the snowflake generators embedded up in there in the ceiling. These floor panels, these dance floor panels, come from the Nar Shaddaa Nightlife event. When you click on them, it makes your character do a random dance, but it's a random dance out of any of the dances in the game, not the dances that you have unlocked. Any dance. So, and then if you hit spacebar, it'll stop and you'll do a different dance. And it says, it doesn't tell you what dance it is, unfortunately, so you can't like get interested and unlock it. And then, as Seema said, these guys over here, the Life Day Reveler, if you noticed when we walked in the room, they threw snowballs at us. They will periodically throw snowballs at you. That's kind of cool. So if you see, I've got this whole place decoed for a holiday party that we have. I've got the holiday lights on my one mount. I've got the hollow trees. I've got the topiaries with the ornaments on them. I've got the dance floors. This is a microphone that's also from the Nar Shaddaa Nightlife. When you click on it, you start dancing around with a microphone and singing. And then of course I've got a bar in the back here with a Rishi dude that's selling drinks.
Free drinks.
Free drinks. Oh, and finally I've got a jukebox. The jukebox actually plays music. Look up if you're also interested. Here is one of a deco on the wall. It's called it's a series of sound decos. So ambient machine. Ambient machine, when you click on them, changes the ambient noise going on in the room. And this one is called Party Chatter. So when you click it on, the ambient sound that starts up is like a party that's going on. So there's different ambient noise generators that you can put on the wall and click on and make part of your stronghold as well. So really extensive set of lots of different kinds of active, usable decorations. This isn't just show and tell of static items. A lot of these things that are animated and active or useful or utilities. We didn't even talk about the cartel slot machine. Maybe we'll talk about that some future time. Really cool stuff. Any final comments, Seema, to sort of wrap it up? We've gone a little bit long here, of course, because this was so fun.
Just that, a lot of people are really into strongholds and spend a lot of time and effort decorating them. And it's a great activity. So like if you find yourself logging in one day and thinking, oh, I don't really have anything to do, take a look at your stronghold. And you can pick everything up with everything, I think, with one key click, right? Isn't there an option you could just start all over again?
Right. Yeah, you can say, yeah, I want to pick up all my decorations. I think it's a couple zones. You know, each stronghold has like 3 or 4 zones. Just pick up all the decorations. I want to start over and I want to start fresh. Yeah, you can do that. All right. That was our stronghold deco fun. Hopefully you got some tips on some of the cool decos that are out there that you can make use of yourself and have fun with. And so I think, though, with that, our EPC 338 will become no longer a deco. We'll get kicked out on airlock and become an active participant in broadcasting this podcast to everyone out there. Please keep up with us on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA if you want to hear more about these kinds of podcasts and when we're doing it. We usually do it on Thursday nights. You can usually find us on New Overlords, twitch.tv/New Overlords. We also post on YouTube/New Overlords. And you can certainly find more information about our guild and come play with us on Starforge. Our guild website is aie-guild.org. There's a Discord link in the upper right. You can jump in. We've got guilds on both the Republic and the Imperial side. That's why we do this podcast. We want you to come play. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.